Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today's video is brought to you courtesy of Giorgio Armani and Macy's. And to celebrate that fact, I'll be giving away a full bottle of the original AQUA de Joe to one of you guys out there, so stay tuned for that. Today we're going to be talking about fragrances that most people would think of as warm weather fragrances. So fragrances that most people would say are best for spring and summer daytime use that I personally find to smell fantastic in fall and winter also. A lot of times people get roped into thinking fragrances can only ever be used in one particular situation or time or something like that, when in reality, you can use them in so many more. Because a lot of times these warm weather fragrances will actually have different facets come out and shine in cool weather and vice versa. Sometimes cool weather fragrances, assuming you don't spray them on super heavily, will smell just as good or even better in warm weather. So let's jump into it. Let's go over 5 different fragrances that most people would think of as spring and summertime scents that crush it in fall and winter. Let's get things kicked off with, of course, AQUA de Joe, the original from Giorgio Armani. Now, this fragrance I have a really strong connection to. I've talked about this in the past on the channel many times, but this was my signature scent for years when I was younger. And it still works just as well today as it did then. So when I was wearing this constantly, it didn't matter, you know, whether it was spring, summer, fall, winter, daytime, nighttime, date night, casually just hanging out with friends, going to work. It didn't matter. I wore it everywhere and it always worked. There's a reason that this is the #1 selling fragrance for men of all time. It has citrus, C notes, white florals, musk, and some woods in here as well. It's very clean, very fresh, and that's why it does get lumped a lot of times into being a warm weather scent. And even though it does absolutely work very well in warm weather situations, you can pull it off just as easily in fall and winter time. I mean, a fresh, clean scent, that's basically always gonna work. People love that. And one thing to keep in mind also is if you spend most of your time indoors and it's air conditioned, then you know it's not gonna change that much between spring, summer, fall, or winter as far as where you're spending the majority of your time, you know, what temperature it is. Now, like I said, AQUA de Joe, I wore this all the time, and to this point, I'd say it's still my most complimented fragrance of all time if we're just talking about, you know, since I began wearing fragrances, because as I said, pretty much everybody loved that when it came out, and it's pretty much the exact same now. So AQUA de Joe, absolutely, you can pull it off any time of year. It is probably the most important fragrance to me, that and Drakkar Noir, as far as my overall fragrance journey. And I cannot tell you guys how many times I got unsolicited compliments from people back when I was working at the mall, when I was rocking AQUA de Joe like every single day. It was an extremely common occurrence, and to be fair, I had people coming around me all day, every day when I worked there. So, you know, if you work somewhere in a place where you're never around people, it'll obviously be different for you. But it just blew me away how much people were attracted to this scent. So obviously I was wearing it year round. It did not matter. And you would think that the years have kind of maybe washed that away. You know, it's been diluted because it's been out for so long. So many people have smelled it that it no longer crushes it like it used to. And you would be wrong. Yeah, there's a reason that it still sells like crazy. That's because it still works just as well today as it did when it came out. So of course, have to include that one right here, right off the top. And again, stay tuned. A little bit later, I'll be giving this one away. Next up, let's talk about Chrome Aqua from Azzaro. Grapefruit, C notes, basil, and mint, some of the notes in this scent. This one I have talked about in the past a couple times as being a fragrance that I absolutely love in winter, even though most people think of it as a summertime scent. And what really shines with this one off my skin is the basil and the mint, this fresh green pop that it has as soon as you spray it on. It takes on kind of a frozen accord, if you want to call it that, in the wintertime. And I think it just smells amazing. Yeah, most people want to wear something fresh, I guess, in summer because they want it to kind of, I guess, boost their spirits. But the same thing happens in cool weather for me. I spray on something fresh like Aqua de Jo, Chrome Aqua, or any of these other fragrances that are coming up, and it just kind of boosts my mood, gets me going. And Chrome Aqua is, I would say, one of, if not the best chrome flanker that I have smelled in years. Really, really well done, and it deserves the hype in my opinion. Next up, let's go with the John Varvatos, and this is the most hyped, I would say, from the Varvatos line. It's Artisan Pure, and the only one that I could think of that could come close to this one as far as the hype goes would be Varvatos Vintage, but I think overall, Artisan Pure still is the receiver of the most hype. Congratulations, Artisan Pure, recipient of the most hyped Varvatos award. That's a very prestigious award. No, it's not. Clementine, petitgrain, musk, and woods, along with a bunch of other citrus. The notes in this scent. Another very clean fragrance, very fresh. And this one has a nice sophisticated edge to it as well. And so this one is a nice, fresh, clean, dressy kind of scent that is still going to smell absolutely fantastic in cool weather. I would say that in the mainstream that Varvatos fragrances do fly under the radar a little bit. I mean, they don't get, talked about quite as much as a bunch of other brands out there, but I think that they should. Very rarely does Varvatos come out with a fragrance that's just a complete whiff, a total miss where you smell it and you go, that is actually horrible. Yeah, that's terrible. That doesn't happen very often at all with Varvatos. And Artisan Pure, I'd say, as far as their fresher scents, the easiest one to pick up and wear, the most accessible, the most mass appealing. And absolutely, you can pull that off in cool weather for sure. Next up, a little bit of a cheapie. This one is from Mont Blanc, and I really haven't talked about this fragrance all that often. I mean, there's a little bit of a reason, which we'll get into, but as far as just being a mass appealing, super easy to wear, youthful scent that I think you can pull off year round if you wanted to, this ticks all the boxes. It is Legend Spirit. This has watery notes, citrus, lavender, and woods, as some of the notes in the scent. And yeah, we've got a lot of overlap with the notes here. A lot of these fragrances have watery notes, sea notes, aquatic notes, citrus, and woods. Yeah, there's a lot of that here. But each one of the fragrances does it in a very different way, so none of these actually smells like the other. Now, Legend Spirit, this one smells similar to Invictus Aqua, of course from Paco Rabanne, which is one of the most popular Invictus fragrances, at least as far as the fragrance community goes. And I'll tell you that for the price, this is a fantastic alternative to that scent. Now, at times I've said that I'm not the biggest fan on earth of the Invictus line, but I would say that Invictus Aqua right up toward the top as far as my favorites in the line. And that's because it's just so easily accessible, easily worn, and very likable. Now, this one does have a bit of that sweetness, a little bit of that bubblegummy sweetness that you would expect to find in the Invictus line, but it's done really well, and for the price, I think it's a steal. And now we've come to the final fragrance in the list, but before that, let's go ahead and do the giveaway for Aqua de Jo. So again, a shout out to Macy's and Armani Beauty for sponsoring this. I'm giving away a 50 ml size bottle of the original Aqua de Jo, still sealed. So in order to be entered into this giveaway, you have to like this video, you have to be subscribed to the channel, you have to throw me a comment down below. And in that comment, all you have to do is let me know if you have ever rocked Aqua de Jo yourself. Has this been a signature scent of yours? Did you own it? Do you own it? Have you only tried it? What's the deal? About 10 days from now, I'll choose a winner with random comment picker. I'll post it up on the community tab of my YouTube channel. And if you are the winner, just hit me up, give me your shipping information, and I'll get this out to you. All right, here we are. Final fragrance. It is from Mugler, and it is Mugler Cologne. Neroli, bergamot, petitgrain, and musk. Some of the notes in this scent. And this is like that quintessential clean, green, soapy office fragrance for so many people. It's a fragrance that you can pull off in a suit and tie or a white t-shirt and jeans. It's super versatile. And a lot of people, like the other fragrances here, just kind of lump it into spring and summertime and leave it there. But it is another fragrance that just sings in the cold weather for me. That clean green kind of pop, again, takes on a little bit of a chilled vibe or atmosphere. and it smells great. Not entirely dissimilar from what happens with Chrome Aqua, just here it's done in more of a soapy clean way instead of an aquatic brisk way. And I'll also say that if you're looking for Mugler cologne, it no longer is just called Mugler cologne. Now it's come together. But basically, if you search for Mugler cologne on a website or on the internet or something like that, you just want to find the one that has the green juice, because that's what this one is. So yeah, Mugler cologne, come together, whatever, just look for the green. So there we go, guys. 5 warm weather fragrances that I think smell fantastic in fall and wintertime. The cool weather will not stop me from pulling these off. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out until the very end. Again, enter that giveaway if you want to win this bottle. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.